And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
One of the most fascinating things, I guess, maybe fascinating in the same way that a train wreck is fascinating, is flame wars on the internet. When you see people going after each other, I really attempt not to get involved in these things myself, but people go after each other, and very rarely do you see someone say, wait a minute, you were right, I agree. You've convinced me. Instead of people go back and forth, complaining and yelling. Well, that is what this game is called, Flame War, and that's what this is based on. Now, Flame War here is a very simple card game where it's almost like a push your luck style game and playing take that card elements on one another, but it's the theme of the game and all the text on the cards that show what looks to be actual lines from arguments, and if they aren't, they're really, really close. So let's take a look at how the game plays. Flame War uses a pretty big deck of cards here, and in this deck of cards you have a whole pile of cards with different numbers and arrows on them, and each of these numbers and arrows refers to different things on the internet. For example, here's a dead horse, and this one's talking about how Al Gore really won the election. Or this one here, chat speak, and how people talk in chat. And so one of the things that this game is going to be, cry for attention, that's what she said, hipster, pirates versus ninjas, a sock puppet, the drunk post. These are things that you have probably actually seen on internet forums. And you'll notice some cards are red and some cards are black. That's because red cards are the flames. Now, when it's your turn, the first thing that you will do on your turn is you're going to draw till you have 6 cards in your hand. The second thing that you can do is you can close a thread. We'll get back to that. But then you can play 2 cards from your hand. When you play a card from your hand in front of you, you simply start a thread. So for example, here I've started one thread, and then here maybe I've started another thread in front of me. To continue a thread, you have to play a number on top of that thread that is higher than the previous number. So on top of this 5, I can play an 11. On top of the 2, I can play a 4. And then later on top of the 4, I can play a 9. On top of the 11, you're running out of numbers because there's only so many high numbers. On top of the 9, I can play a 10, etc. Now, when you close a thread on your turn, remember I talked about that? You can take one of your threads and close it, but you can only close a thread if there are at least 2 cards in that thread, and if it has a left and right arrow, and if it does not have a red card on the top. If a thread, for example, let's say here's a chat speak, and now there's Flame Bait Gaming on top of it. If there's a red Flame Bait card on top of it, then you can't shut that thread down until that is taken care of. And there's some cards, like the Ban Hammer card, which can be played on top of anything. See, that's an 11. I can put that 0 on top of it because you're basically just allowed to do that. Other cards, when you play them, like this cross post here, says look at an opponent's hand and swap 1 card with them. And so when you play those cards, you are allowed to play cards in front of other players, and you can play them in front of yourself. And once somebody shuts down 3 threads, the game is over. At that point, each thread that you have shut down and placed in front of you, you'll count up the cards and get a point for each card. The person with the most points is the winner. Now, before we shut down here, just a little bit more of a look at the cards themselves. You can see here we got Nerd Rage, Manifesto, petitions, must stop something from happening. What else we got in here? We have statistics and, Godwin's Law, always bringing that into play. So a lot of the things that you will see, drama queens in actual internet flame wars, the game, and you just lost it, things like that are in here. And if you're a frequent poster on forums that have these kind of wars take place, and that's pretty much almost every forum on the internet, then you will recognize most of the cards. So Flame Wars here is a 2 to 4 player game. It takes 15 minutes. It's really a quick, fast game. It's really simple. What you're doing on your turn is you're looking at the cards in your hand and you're saying, okay, I want to play low numbers in front of me so that I can play more and more cards on them and shut down those threads. But someone else might try to shut down threads as fast as they can simply to end the game. And then you have to watch for the flame bait cards being played on here. Extra points here for some of the cards. I like the flame bait politics, the flame bait bronies. Lots of things made it into this game. I would say that it's going to be something that is really fast, and you have to be prepared for that. You know, you play boom, 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 and it's done. It's not the kind of game where you're going to sit around and think for a long time. It's simply the kind of game where I'm going to play cards and try to shut down threats. There is that push your luck element where maybe you want to make a thread really long. If I could start with a low number and go up into a higher number to get like 10 cards my thread. But while I'm doing that, before I actually shut it down, my friend has shut down 3 of his threads. Or I can stop him by playing flame bait. There's not a whole lot of variation to what you're going to do here. The game is all about being short and fun, and I think about, you know, doing this. You can role play it up and laugh about different threads and different arguments. But that is essentially what the game is. In just a moment, I'm going to show you a link to how to kickstart the game. If you're interested in it, you can get involved. This is a Flame War. And by the way, you're wrong about pretty much everything, aren't you? Come on now. It's just like Hitler. Just like Hitler.